it's easy to grow old. The hardest part is to stay immature. So he does a good job at that. But I'll do my best to be funny for sure.
Morning, Dennis. Dennis Neer. Oh, he can't hear me yet.
Hi, Justin. It's Chris Norgard. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? I know I see so many familiar faces and names. This is, I feel very nostalgic of my childhood.
Right. We may have to talk offline after the program today about the subject of your talk, because have kind of gotten involved in some of that stuff.
Uh-oh. Run. No. I think that's great. Yeah, I would love to. We'll set up a call or a meeting, and I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, just, shoot me an email if you will. I mean, I can get one probably from Steve or your dad, but it's, if you can remember this, it's kind of long. It's C Norgard, so CNORGAARD.
Yeah.
At Chris Norgard Law altogether.com.
Okay. I mean, are you getting into some entertainment law stuff, or is it more on the creative
Well, a
side?
bit of that, but also I did a book, and some producers have approached me about doing a movie, and so anyway.
Very cool.
We have a Joseph Wamba here.
Right.
Well, hopefully, if they ever get around to it, they'll option the book. And I'll tell you, just keep cashing those checks and don't ask questions, because I was hired to adapt a book for Sony 5 years ago, and I adapted it. And I don't even know if Sony still knows they have the IP, intellectual property, but
yeah.
They keep sending the author checks, and who knows if it's ever going to get made. So we'll talk offline.
Right. Okay.
Hi, Mitch. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Hi, Alana.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Great. Hello, Jesse.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Josie.
Hey. We'll get started in a couple minutes. So I wish we had some rain here, April. Too bad we don't have any rain coming soon.
Hi, Justin. It's your uncle. Thought I'd say hi.
I pop in and out. Hi, Stevie. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How about yourself?
Doing great. Just raising, twins in a pandemic. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
But I can't say that to you because you had 3, so you're the only person that has the upper hand on me.
And I'm sure you're providing a lot of help.
I mean, there's 2 of them. I have to. I've pretty much taken the role of. I have a lot of respect for mothers now. I think it's. I mean, you know how it is. Not that I didn't have respect for mothers before, by the way, but I
Save, Justin.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Nice recovery.
The phones were starting to ring off the hook.
Yeah.
Steve, you're going to be empty nested come September. It's either all or nothing, feast or famine.
Well, we certainly hope so.
Unless they're all going to go to PCC.
Well, I just got back from Texas. Glover and I went down there to Texas A&M, and he'd like to join the Corps down there. And fascinating place, really was. And there's so many applications running through the around our house right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, 3 tuitions at once. That's awesome. Are you looking forward to that?
Private schools all,
Hi Denise.
You don't have to get me a Christmas gift this year, actually, because of that. Save money.
All right, folks, we'll get started here.
Justin, I don't think I can return that pack of gum, so I may give it to you anyway.
All right, we are going to get started. As we remember that December is Disease Prevention and Treatment Month in the Rotary world, I call the December 10th, 2020 meeting of the Rotary Club of San Marino to order. We are truly a club that
Make
makes a difference.
Difference.
Yes, please stand and join. Please stand and join me in reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Let me pull that up 1 second here. I seem to have lost. One moment, please. Okay. Here we go. Okay, first.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it fair to all
concerned?
Third.
Will it build
Goodwill and better friendship.
Fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart and begin. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the
the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the season of light. We give thanks for the light brought to humankind. We give thanks to the light this Rotary Club has shed throughout its long history on so many others, both here at home and throughout the world. We ask that we be nourished by our fellowship and reflection on our past and energized to convey your perpetual light now and in the future. Amen. Thank you. We'll now be seated. Okay. Introduction of guests. And do we have Gilda on the line? Oh, there we
I
go.
just got here, Aaron. How are you? How's everybody? Nice to see
Good.
everybody. Okay, I am gonna kind of surf the page. Let me see. Steve Talt, it's good to see you. You're on camera now. I love it. See you. Okay, let me see. April Taylor. Would you introduce yourself?
Gilda?
Hi, hi, Isaac.
Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead and introduce.
my second week here, and I am a friend, or now guess family, with Isaac Hung. And I used to be in Rotary in Washington State, and we were a divided district internationally with British Columbia. So,
Okay, welcome. Nice to have you.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I believe that was your guest, so welcome. Let's see, my screens are moving around. Okay, we have Marcella, our city manager. Nice to see you again, Marcella. Cal, good to see you. I'm just saying hello to everybody. Bryce, are you a student of the month? Okay,
Yes.
You are a student of the month? Okay, welcome. I know you're gonna be able to speak in a few minutes. I think is it Buddy Talt?
He's our speaker.
Oh, he's our speaker. Okay, thank you. We have, hang on 1 second.
Zyla.
Is it Zyla or Zila?
It's Zilla.
Zilla.
Thank
Go ahead
you.
and introduce
Thank you
yourself.
for having me.
They're the appearance of the student of the month.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, I believe that was everybody.
I think that's it. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, Gilda. Great job.
Absolutely.
Okay, now is our time for the Pass the Polio Pig program. Please show your envelopes right here and your donations. I see you, Stephanie, John, Denise, thank you so much. And place your donations. JP, thank you so much. Okay, great. All right, birthdays. We have December 13th, James Nash. Everyone wish James Nash a happy birthday. Okay, Dr. Michael Lynn, December 13th. I see you're here too. Happy birthday to Dr. Lynn. All right, Matthew Lynn, he celebrates his birthday on December 24th. Member anniversaries, December 12th, Arlene Romero will celebrate 2 years with our club. On December 15th, John Wallace will celebrate 15 years. On December 18th, Denise Wadsworth, congratulations, 12 years with our club. December 22nd, Jesse Hong, I know you're here today too, 4 years, congratulations. And December 27th, Cicely Gardia, 2 years with our club. And then we have wedding anniversaries on December 21st. Barbara Bice will celebrate her 51st wedding anniversary with her husband, Scott. And on December 25th, Dr. Joseph Chang will celebrate 36 years with his wife, Shu. Okay, congratulations to everyone. Announcements. I'm going to begin with our student of the month. And Mr. Kurtenbach, if you're ready, please feel free to take over.
Thank you so much. The San Marino High School Rotary Student of the Month for December is Bryce Tobiano. Bryce is an outstanding student who is well respected and loved by both his peers and his teachers. Not only has he consistently earned A's and B's throughout his time at San Marino High School and Huntington Middle School, where I was also his principal, he's currently enrolled in Honors English, Honors Calculus, Honors Digital Film, and Honors Physics. Perhaps the most impressive part of Bryce is his willingness to lead during our toughest times, because as you see, Bryce is San Marino High School's ASB president, a position made all the more challenging due to COVID. Nevertheless, he has skillfully led the associated student body in connecting our students to San Marino High School through the pandemic this year. He spearheaded our drive-in movie, all our online contests, and connecting activities. Bryce has truly helped all of us to navigate this difficult situation with his calm and supportive demeanor, as well as his willingness to put in the work necessary. Bryce has many varied interests. He's an avid coder, and after having topped out in our AP Computer Science at San Marino High School last year, he researched and began taking online courses on his own, as well as participating in Code Day and Cafe Repair, where he regularly participates in community coding events, as well as repairing devices for those with no means of doing so for free. In the future, Bryce would like to attend either MIT, Boston University, UC Berkeley, or Arizona to study engineering and film, another of Bryce's passions. Bryce's teachers have described him as kind, flexible, and personable. He loves to put in the extra time needed to learn and during a normal year would often be found after school in his teachers' classrooms asking more questions so that he could better understand the material. Bryce is an idea man. He likes to find interesting solutions to complex problems. So please help me and join me in congratulating Bryce Tobiano, SMHS's December Rotary Student of the Month.
Good job, good job.
Thank you. Do I say a few words or?
Yes, please, Bryce,
Okay,
feel
okay.
free to say a few words.
So yeah, I would like to thank the members of the Rotary for this opportunity to celebrate students like me. I'd like to thank Mr. Kurtenbach, our school administrators, teachers, Mrs. Velasco, and all of our school counselors for nominating and selecting me to be here this month. And I'm just super glad to be here to represent student peers, or my student peers like me, who work hard to make our community super engaging and a super fun learning environment. As for the future, as Mr. Kurtenbach said, I hope to study engineering, but for the short term, I hope to make next semester a lot more fun and interesting and entertaining for students at the high school as ASB president, and I continue to volunteer at Code Day very avidly. So if you have any students or kids that are interested in coding at all, we work to teach students coding and provide a lot of job opportunities and internship opportunities for that. But besides that, thank you again so much for having me. It's so great to see a lot of familiar faces throughout the years. And have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you, Bryce. Congratulations. Does anyone have any questions for this impressive student? Just raise your hands. Okay, I don't see anyone. Bryce, thank you
Am
so
I-
much. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was on. Yeah, just congratulations again. And I just want to add that I had the honor of doing Bryce's mock college interview this year. And if there were a scale of 1 to 1,000, he would receive a 1,000 from me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Horgard. It was a pleasure to do my interview with you.
Very nice, Chris. Very nice. Any other questions for Bryce? Okay, congratulations, Bryce. Thanks for joining us today. I know you have to get back. Thank you so much, Mr. Kurtenbach, for doing that today. All right. Okay, we have a Rotary moment to share. Gilda, would you like to make the introduction?
Yes, we are taking the last couple of months and the next couple of months or the rest of this year to ask Rotarians to share why Rotary. I know, April, you mentioned you were with a Rotary Club. It's always a treat to hear from fellow Rotarians why they've chosen Rotary as an organization to belong to and why they stick around, why they come back, even in this COVID platform. So today, it's my distinct pleasure to bring on Stephanie Johnson, who's going to share her Rotary moment. Stephanie, are you ready?
I am. Thank you, Gilda.
Great.
Good afternoon, everybody. Each week, we say that we are a group that makes a difference. To me, that is the driving force of Rotary. Our participation to build a house in a small town outside of Tecate, Mexico, stands out to me as a powerful example. In one day, a group of volunteers come together and build a house for a family who has none. It's an opportunity to see firsthand what Rotary accomplishes. It is beneficial to all concerned. It is a learning and personally gratifying experience for the volunteers and life-changing for the recipient family. I encourage everyone to participate. It's not all work. There is a celebratory dinner with fellow Rotarians at the end of the day that has a camaraderie resulting from accomplishing something worthwhile together. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, Grace Yang reminds us that the Rotary on the Town, the holiday Rotary on the Town is next Thursday. If you are on the fence and you are thinking about dinner, tomorrow is the last day to RSVP. So please RSVP by tomorrow if you'd like to have dinner with the party at the party. If you don't plan to have dinner, you have up to the 16th to RSVP to join us on that day. This is a great opportunity to support 2 local restaurants. I'm sure they need it, in this time, and also a couple of little small businesses which Grace has hired for the holiday party. So please respond to your message from Grace if you are interested in coming to the holiday party. Okay, Ginny would like for me to ask everyone that she's still looking for nominations of schools for the Rotary Readers Program. Please contact her if you have any nominations, okay? So if anyone has any schools in mind, please contact Ginny for Rotary Readers. Thank you. Okay, next I'd like to share, if you recall, Gavin Hussein was working on his Eagle Scout project and he presented that to us. He submitted his final report. The project is done. And I think that I'm going to send this to Russ, so maybe we can send this out on the next rotoscope. But he's given a really detailed report on his project. He has a project summary. He has a lot of photos where his little water stations are located. We have one in Totali's Pizza, and like I said, a lot of photos. So I just wanted to kind of briefly show you that, and hopefully we can get that into the next rotoscope. He also has his financial report, how much he spent on the project, what are the expenses. So very impressive final report. So wanted to share that with you. This morning was the bike distribution. The joint program with Pasadena Rotary, After Hours Pasadena Club, and Altadena Club. Very efficient distribution. This was the most efficient yet. They worked. Everybody had kept their social distance. It was a big room, and we worked in shifts. So it was 2-hour shifts, and they also had appointments for the families to come pick up their bikes. So it was well done. I would say this project is officially closed. So congratulations to everyone who participated today. And thank you, JP, for helping on Monday with the move. And everyone, please give a round of applause to Isaac for putting this together for our club. So thank you, Isaac. All right. Let's see. Debbie Priester has asked to remind you all that there's going to be the Rose Parade New Year's celebration. It's not an actual parade, but performances by artists and celebrities on New Year's Day, starting at 8 a.m. Also, a note from Bill Payne regarding Merrill Francis. They are going to be having a Zoom memorial for Merrill on Friday, December 18th at 6:15. I'll also ask for us if we can put that in the rotoscope with the link. But that's on Friday, December 18th at 6:15 p.m. There'll be photo slideshows and people sharing memories of Merrill. So please be there if you can. Do we have any other announcements before we get on to our speaker? Please raise your hand. Oh, one more announcement. I just remembered the San Marino Fire Department is doing a Toys for Tots program, and that's last day is tomorrow. Please bring an unwrapped toy and drop it off at the San Marino Fire Department. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. I think that's it. Next week is our Rotary on the Town, and we will therefore be dark for our normal noon meeting. So no meeting next week, okay? We'll remain dark for the rest of the year, and we'll resume our regular meetings on January 7th with Steve Ford giving a presentation on general patent. Thank you to Bill Payne and to the programs committee for bringing that program to our club. All right, Bill, you're up.
Oh,
Bill
wow.
Payne, if you can go off of mute.
Did you say, am I starting now?
Oh, no, Bill's going to give the introduction.
Okay.
Bill Payne, can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you, President Aaron. Our program today is the 5th in a series of what we have titled Amazing Titans, those San Marino High School grads who have gone on to pursue unusual fields of endeavor. The 4 others you will recall were our own member Dan Floyd talking about his ace Arizona softball pitcher Michelle, Bill Yucapina talking about his Stanford field goal kicking son Conrad, Andrea Pott, a district attorney and prosecutor of the 5 Southeast Los Angeles gangs, and Ollie Campbell, the Army Ranger who was miraculously saved after being hit 4 times during a raid for a high-value target in Afghanistan. An update on Ollie is that he has enrolled in a pre-med program at Dartmouth, of all places. Our speaker today is a filmmaker, directing commercials and writing movies for studios. He will speak to the process of storytelling, writing, and filmmaking. And he will tell stories about what he learned from making films and working collaborating with Netflix, Sony, and MRC Studios. He is the son of Susie and Brad Talt. Brad is the brother of our own Steve, and the 3rd brother of that sequence is Mark. Let's give a warm San Marino welcome to our speaker today, Juddy Talt.
Thank you so much. Wow. You read it just as I wrote it. Thank you. Let me share my screen here. I think it's important. Okay, don't look at my desktop. It's a mess. It's like inside my mind. Mitch probably knows what I'm talking about here. So I put together a little slideshow. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
And Mitch, you make some appearances in here, so don't go falling asleep in after the first slide.
Juddy, I'm not Dennis. I'll stay wide awake.
Well, you know, I just want to thank you guys for having me. I think that San Marino is a special place. It's, you know, now that I have kids of my own, I feel I'm on the west side. I said I'd never go back to San Marino. I never go back, but I'm telling you, it's calling. I'm looking at real estate now. I'm looking at a home to buy. I just want to have that same childhood that San Marino gave me. And so I appreciate it. I don't know how amazing I am of a Titan, but I know that I'm doing something that's, you know, a career that you have to kind of live by your wits. And I don't think anybody really survives the entertainment business without losing your mind, self-confidence, self-worth, and self-respect. I feel I'm just limping along like salmon swimming upstream, just shedding pieces of myself. On that note, I hope you guys have me back next year. And I know that that's like asking for a second date before the first one. But I'm a screenwriter, so I'm constantly seeking people's approval. I want to be liked, admired, adored, and it's a losing battle. I've made one movie so far in my illustrious career. So when people say he makes movies, I say I make movie. And in the past 8 years, you know, studios have paid me to write scripts that they don't make. But you know, why do I want to come back next year, hopefully in the future? Because I have 3 finally that are slated for next year. One shooting in January in the midst of a pandemic. So I promise you I'll have more to talk about on our second date. And if you like me, and as I said, that's all I want. Like Sally Field said in her Oscar acceptance speech, you know, you like me, you really like me. We never really know. So hopefully I could tell you all about that when we meet again. But I want to talk, you know, first about why did I get in this business? And you probably all know Mike Nichols, who directed The Graduate and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, among other great movies, The Birdcage. He always said that revenge is why he got in the biz. And I kind of appreciate that, because it's not necessarily on a person, but an experience. And I have a lot of people and situations I need to get revenge on by creating those stories, writing about them. Maybe you were misunderstood in high school, you get back at the bully. Maybe you missed an opportunity to go after that girl that you always wanted. Or you never got to say what you wanted to say in that moment because you never can find the right thing to say. And 10 minutes later, you wish you had said this. I love dramatizing moments like that. I get paid to make things up, and that's nice. It's just imaginative work. And the tough thing is that you can't teach imagination. You can kill it, and I get killed all the time, but you can't teach it. And I really, really, really enjoy it. So I made a bunch of rules that I follow that are kind of all over the place about how I survive as a marginal screenwriter. Rule number 1, you have to be a little delusional. When I was accepted into the Writers Guild, I was 27 years old, and I had to sell a screenplay, which is, I don't know, it's hard to do that. And they sent me a letter, and it said the following: you are now a professional writer. You had about a 5 times better chance of hearing your name read at the Major League Baseball draft this year than getting this letter. Make sure your parents know that. You know, I think that I had to be a little delusional thinking I'd ever get in the WGA with those odds. The odds of making a movie are very slim. The odds of making your second movie after that, I think it's the statistics are 90% of filmmakers, first-time filmmakers, don't make that second film. So being delusional to me is like kind of being a dreamer, and I think that's really important. I'm sure that anybody that stood here today that accomplished anything great in their life was probably a little delusional. Have an Academy Award. I know what you're thinking. Are we talking to an Academy Award winning writer? No, definitely not even close. But I don't know if you can see this on my shelf. I keep a picture of an Academy Award that I took when I saw it in person when I was traveling through Europe as a teenager. It was a long time ago. I knew I wanted one. And it was actually, you probably have seen this one too. It's at the Anne Frank house. It's Shelley Winters donated that. And when I saw it, I was, I think, 19 years old. I took a picture. I kept it with me. I said, I'm going to get one of these. Again, I'm probably not, but that's the beauty of being delusional. It's my little reminder that, you know, to not forget the kid that I was. Don't let the world convince me otherwise. It will reject me over and over again. This is a business where 99% of failure is triumph. I pitch so many things every day. I write so many drafts. They get killed, they get torn apart. And no matter what, I'm just looking for that 1% success rate. And that's all it takes in this business. My third rule, no, actually, that's the end. I hope you guys have a lot of questions. I stepped on that joke. I'm just kidding. My third rule is don't listen to critics. And, you know, Mitch Lehman is probably my favorite critic, and I'll go into that in a second, but clear the mechanism is what I tell myself. I don't know if you ever saw the movie For Love of the Game. It's a silly little romance, Kevin Costner film. And I have to say that there's this scene where he, every time before he pitches, he clears the mechanism. He doesn't listen to all these outside voices. And I don't know if this clip is going to work for you guys. We did a little trial, but this is what it's like to be inside my head, inside a writer's head, every day as I try to create story, break story, and kind of get to the finish line. So hold on, and excuse the choppiness, but oh.
Still one in
Clear the mechanism.
Clear the mechanism. I actually really love this movie, and I think that it's a silly little thing, but you just have to clear the mechanism every day. And I say that because look at this. Mitch, do you remember this? This is 2001. You built my ego up so much. You said Justin Talt, look at that, rises to his full dramatic height as Charlemagne. You filled my ego up, and you can't listen to critics either way because, you know, you can't let it get to your head. But I was destined for stardom. Mitch, I have you to thank for that. And as I go through more rave reviews of my life, you know, in middle school, I was Evil Eye Flegel. Someone sent me a fake news report where they said in his second stage role, Justin Talt demonstrated his amazing character acting abilities. He took on the evil ways of Flegel, having totally shed his good guy image from his previous role as Charlie Brown. Just middle school, everybody loving on me. It was so good to be a kid. Huntington, just the talk of the town. In my senior year of Odd Couple, you know, Mitch wrote, on second thought, it's not so odd after all. And in this particular article, he said he hasn't seen such a great performance of Oscar since Walter Matthau did in the movie. So I was really destined to be something. And then I did my own movie. And I will say the New York Post really brought me down a little bit. Bookish boy, a total bore. And these are the noises that I have to go through. I actually have my favorite line from this article because, you know, the negative reviews are what sticks with you the most is this Farron Smith from the New York Post wrote, part of the limp rag ambiance is due to Talt, who seems to be channeling Sarah Jessica Parker, which unsurprisingly doesn't work. Thanks for that. So, you know, I think that it's important for me to clear the mechanism every day because whenever you do or trying something that's very hard, you just have to do that. Now, here's another one. The New York Times wrote this, although Language of a Broken Heart, a romantic comedy written by and starring Judy Talt, eventually drowns in cliches and predictability, It has a few decent moments of humor and some appealing performances that make it marginally better than most vanity projects. I actually was staying at the Standard at the High Line in New York, and I opened up the New York Times and I saw this review, and I thought I made it. I thought this was a good one. I mean, there's a lot of vanity in Hollywood, so I was better than most vanity projects. That's great. But what I want to talk about here is my movie opened in theaters in 15 of the biggest markets. It was an independent film that was made for $200,000, and that's an independent film. By the way, it was shot on film on 35 millimeter. Juno was an independent film that was shot. Well, Language was shot essentially for $2,000 a minute. Juno was shot for $62,000 a minute. That's an independent film. King's Speech is a great independent film. It was shot for $260,000 a minute. Independent film is really a loose term. I think this was a real independent, labor of love project that we did for next to no money, and it made it in theaters, and it made it in Regal theaters across the nation. And when you open in Union Square and Regal theaters, people do like the movie. So I kind of just hang my hat on that, and I'm proud of that. And I'll never forget. I'll tell you a story about when my movie opened in New York City. I was in Union Square on Friday. I'd just been doing some local market press and stuff, and I passed by the banner that had my movie Language of a Broken Heart on Regal theaters in Union Square, and it was the matinee was 1 o'clock, and it just opened. I was like, I'm gonna go in here. I mean, there's nobody in this matinee on a Friday opening day, at noon. And so I walk in. And I look at the theater where it's playing my movie, and it's about half full, actually. I'm like, wow, why are people here? That's weird. And, we had no marketing budget, that nobody knew about this movie. They just dropped it in there. And I went and sat down next to a woman. She was like in her 50s. She was alone. And I'm on the screen, and I'm sitting next to her, and I look at her and I say, hey, do you like this movie? And she looks at me and she's like, yeah, I do. And she looks at the screen, and then she's like, looks back at me, and she's kind of having this outer body experience. And I stop her. I'm like, listen, that's me up there. I just wanted to know, where did you hear about this film? Why are you here? And she wrote, I live in Long Island. I drove about an hour and a half. I opened up the New York Times, and I like what I read. And I said, you like that they said better than most vanity projects? And she's like, yeah, I like the subject line. I liked what it was about, and I'm really enjoying the movie. So, no matter what anybody says, it doesn't matter. I have to be true to my voice. I write what I know. I write what I love. And when it comes to this type of stuff, people really, really do love it. So I'll keep going. Rule number 4, you have to have a great opening. Now, hold on a second here. I think that, and I don't mean opening box office. I mean, opening, a scene. Inglourious Bastards has one of the greatest opening scenes. I could watch that over and over again. Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock's, all of his stuff. His opening is amazing. Manhattan, Woody Allen. Social Network, Aaron Sorkin's whip smart dialogue back and forth. It's like watching a professional ping pong match. Just awesome. And so, it's really, really, all these movies have such great openings. And I think it's everything. It hooks you, it gets you in, and it's going to make you kind of stay in it. So I want to show you my opening and why I think it's great, if I do say so myself. So hold on, bear with me. How was that last video for you guys? Was it okay, or is it choppy? Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine. Thank you.
Okay. So let's get there. Hold on. We'll just let it roll from here. This is not it yet. Just wait. Drag it a little. Buffering.
Let me make this clear. I don't know the first thing about women, nor do I know the first thing about love. But I can write about it, and lots of people seem happy to pay for it.
I read your book like 13 times.
Oh, thank you.
You. You just can't.
This book.
So really, that's why my opening's so great. You know, I mean,
My life.
I just love sensitive.
it gets better.
Thank you. Why can't you be more like Nick? That's what she says.
So, you know, if you're not smart enough to write something good, you just get some people, some high profile cameos, mayors of San Marino and things like that to make it really, really memorable and people wanting more. But I think the New York Times did respond that that was the best performance of the film, and that was all of it right there. So moving on with my rules, but I really, and I kid about that, I really, really do. I live off of openings. I watch openings. I could watch every opening of every film. Not that I don't finish the movies, but it really sets up tone, theme, character in the first 5 minutes. And there's such an economy of time there, and how people are able to do it and accomplish that and grab you, I think is really, really cool. And it's just something that I always strive to do. So here's a trivia question. Who consumes the most mental health benefits of any healthcare collective in America? I mean, it was on one of my earlier slides. It's something that I'm in. That's right. It's the Writers Guild. We use the most mental health benefits. And so pretty much we need a lot of therapy. Writers need a lot of therapy. Mitch, do you go to a therapist still? Okay, well, I have to say, you know, and you're probably wondering why. I mean, there's just a lot of self-loathing in this business of writing, and you agonize over these things, and not so simple. But one of the scenes I wrote in my movie is actually based off a therapist that I went to see after my heart was broken, and I just want to share that with you really quick. And this is Oscar Nunez from The Office, who did a great job.
I'm going through a divorce. All right. I'm going through a divorce.
Oops.
All right. But I'm
Sorry, hold on.
I'm going through a divorce. All right. But I'm not getting all wussy about it. You know what I've been doing? I've been going out. I've been going out every day this week, and I feel great. I feel awesome. I'm raising the roof, and you know who's going out with me?
I don't.
That fella right there. Yes.
No.
Let's go out and get to some ass.
That's not me. Sorry.
Bum bumpy do bum bum bumpy bum bum Rihanna bumpy do bum bum.
So I love this because I feel like Garth Brooks when he talks about his own songs, how much he loves his song. It's disgusting. It makes me want to throw up. But this happened to me. I went to a therapist and I wrote that scene because I was talking about my breakup, and he drops on me that he's been divorced 3 times. And I'm like, what? Why am I paying this guy? And this therapist just has this complete breakdown about me. And all of a sudden the roles are the reversed and I'm taking care of him. So why do writers need so much therapy? I think that we're probably very suspicious of our own process because it fails so often. I think that screenwriters and filmmakers are humbled by the very limitations of that process. You know, Thomas Mann, and I love this line, wrote, "A writer is a person for whom writing is harder than for other people." I just think it's agonizing stuff that we put ourselves through. And I think this sums it up the best right here, is that Brian Helgeland is a great writer. He wrote Mystic River, 42, Man on Fire. He wrote LA Confidential, as you see right here. That year, he won Best Screenplay for LA Confidential, and the Razzies, he wrote Worst Screenplay for The Postman. Kevin Costner also won Worst Director, Worst Picture, and Worst Actor. But the point is that you don't hear that about athletes when they win, Best Athlete of the Year award. You're not also the worst athlete of the year. When you're the top of your game, you're at the top of your game. When you're at the top of your game in screenwriting or filmmaking, you can also be a total dud. And that makes us question ourselves every day. So rule number 5, accept your voice. This is, as they said in the introduction, I write and direct a lot of commercials. I did some series of ads for Netflix that was promoting their original movie film content when they unveiled that, a couple years ago. This is actually a video of that ad. It's actually 2 minutes long because they cut it into a 60 and a 30. But it's really just about a guy who's falling in love with a girl at a dorm over their shared love of cinema. And I'm a guy who likes to write about family, friends, and love. That's what studios pay me to do. I love As Good as It Gets. I love James L. Brooks. I love Cameron Crowe. Jerry Maguire, Say Anything. Richard Curtis, did Love Actually and Notting Hill. And all I can say is that with my voice, I hope people can find themselves in my work. And that's all I care about. I hope, I have to say who I am in my writing, right? I can't imitate other people's voice. I do me. I may not be interesting, but I am all I have to offer. And if I do it truthfully, I think it will have an effect. So, I think that I don't need to show you this ad because it's too long. But you guys can look at it. It's a bunch of ads I did for Netflix, and maybe I'll share a link another time. But I want to just talk about my voice and what I'm doing now. The movie that is going in production in January is a thriller, and it's kind of a Fatal Attraction type film. And a studio that I worked with before came to me and said, "Hey, if you can do a thriller, just a relationship thriller, we really think we can greenlight this for you." And so I decided to take a stab at it. It was outside my comfort zone. I went dark. I went really dark, and I wasn't really happy doing it. It wasn't really my voice. I think I was like Googling stuff like, how to poison your wife or how to cause an abortion or just dark stuff. And I got approached by another studio to do a film about an young Al Qaeda operative who was planning an attack on a manufacturing plant overseas. And I spent weeks and months just researching Al Qaeda, and I was, researching, pretty much Googling how to join Al Qaeda. So I'm pretty sure I'm on a lot of watch lists from all those different things. But the point is, when I deviate from my voice, I really just get away from who I am and what I really like to write about. And I just don't think I found myself in the last 10 years wasting a lot of time writing other things that really don't fit who I am. I'm puzzled that when people write about falling in love, they are critically considered sentimental and unrealistic. And yet millions of people are falling in love tonight all over the world, or today. A guy goes AWOL and murders his wife and children, and this will be seemingly realistic, and it happens twice. So I know I sound defensive on what I write about, friends, family, love, but I think people can relate to it. I think people enjoy it, especially now in this time. I think people really need it. The other movie I'm doing next year is MRC Studios. It's with it's a reimagining of The Apartment, the Billy Wilder film, who I love. But it's about an older couple, a man in his 60s. Imagine, alone his entire life, has to Airbnb his apartment over Gramercy Park in a shared experience to be able to pay his rent and continue to live where he's always lived. And obviously, a woman moves in and upends his life, and he falls in love. And you can think about all those great Neil Simon shows, Odd Couple as an inspiration, Goodbye Girl, and of course the Apartment, which is really, won the 1961 Academy Award. The last thing I think I'll talk about is streaming, because I'm sure that you guys all stream. I know you're streamers. Who isn't? With Netflix, Amazon, now HBO Max, dropping all their big films like Wonder Woman and even Matrix 4 the same day as theaters. You don't have to pay extra. I don't believe that theaters are dead. And I'm just a guy who's been in, talking to producers and studios for a while. And it's probably because I'm delusional, back to rule number 1. But I'm very romantic about seeing movies. I like going to the theaters. I like buying that little ticket stub. I like going up to the window with the little silver hole in it. I I'm very romantic about that. I like getting my popcorn and my Raisinets and all that stuff. I like the shared experience of sharing empathy with people. And maybe you don't agree, but I'll say this. In the past 6 months, how many people here have actually, on a Friday night with nothing to do said, man, I wish we could go to see a movie with my wife or take my kids, and you can't do it because of COVID. And I think it's just the old adage of why do we always fall in love while as we're walking away? So I do ask you guys when this pandemic ends to go back, go to the movies, stop streaming. How many people just get in fights with their significant other over streaming? You find yourself going through Netflix, there's so much crap that in an hour you can't decide on something. She hates you, you hate her, you're going to bed angry, and that's the worst thing in the world. So go to the theaters, don't fight with your wife, have a good time, have those shared movie experiences again, because I think they're important and they'll be around for a really long time. That's the end for real. This is my favorite movie of all time. It's Almost Famous. There's a scene in it where they're all going down an airplane, the band Stillwater is, and I think it's the best scene. That's another clip. It's 2 minutes long. I really don't want to show it to you. I was going to, but I think in essence of time, we should open it up to some questions. Yeah?
Okay. All right. You have time if you'd like to share a clip.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to, is it okay if I stop sharing your slide so I can see the
Yes,
grid?
please.
Okay.
Did I do that?
I just did it right now. It's okay. Okay, let me change my view. And if we have any questions, you can please raise your hand. Bill Payne. We can go off of mute.
Yeah, Judy, thank you very much for presenting today. You certainly are an amazing and a terrific Titan. I have one question that has kind of the corollary one of the other. So Tony Johnson in town was a writer of books. And when you'd go to a Christmas party or a PTA party, everybody wanted to be clever talking to Tony, because if she liked what you said, she would write what you said on the palm of her hand so she could use it in her book. The corollary of that is I'm wondering whether a person like your wife is afraid to open up to you because she could find herself in a script, in a promotion, and what she says to you is to be private and not shown to millions across the world. So which side do you walk on? Do you have people on both sides?
Yeah, I know. I think it's a great question. No, she knows what she married. She knows it's going to end up on screen. She knows having twins right now, all this stuff that we're going through, the difficulty, the pain, the arguments, the highs and lows, is that there's some good drama coming out of this, and I'm going to use it. I will say that I got hired by Netflix or I sold a movie to Netflix, and it's a Christmas movie, and it's called It's Not Your Year. And it's really about what we all went through pre-pandemic of marrying into another family and having to tell your parents it's not your year. And the dynamic of these two families coming together and fighting over that. And, that's all about my in-laws. So I have everybody on their toes, and it's great. My in-laws, they need to, be nicer to me because they know they'll end up in the movie. And so that's actually one of the 3 movies next year, It's Not Your Year, which is really based off of my experience marrying into a different family and being indoctrinated into a different family, and what that does and the effect it has on the marriage and the relationship, and just kind of trying to find your own traditions in Christmas.
Thank you, Bill. James.
Yes, thank you for your presentation.
Oh, yeah.
You used the word delusional.
Yeah.
My parents used the word not thinking right, because I started in the theater as a kid, and they wanted me to be a doctor, dentist, or a pharmacist, but I was more creative. So, because they didn't know anyone who ever accelerated in directing. I'm a I've been in the Directors Guild for 30 years.
Wow.
I worked for CBS for 38 years. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it got choppy for a second.
And so I was always told, even by friends, that you're not going to make it. Well, I worked every day for 35 years as a director.
That's awesome.
As a Directors Guild. So live your dream. It will happen. You know all the stories in Hollywood, how it took someone 10 years, 20 years. Yeah. Stick with your dream and you will make it.
Yeah, no.
And even today, people say, man, I didn't believe you could do it. I said, well, I did. And that's what counts. So that's what I want to say. Stick with it. And you talk about Oscars, the first of my 15 Emmys that I won, I didn't know I was eligible to win an Emmy till they told me. So I didn't seek it. It found me. Okay.
Yeah.
So understand that Oscar will find you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Very nice, James. Thank you. Denise.
Oh, Jetty, I can't help but compare you to Steve because we've known Steve for so long.
Yeah.
And you're different.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And I'll just leave it at that. First of all, Love Actually, absolutely. We watch it every season, and that point where Hugh Grant starts dancing to the Pointer Sisters' Jump for Your Love is just that scene that makes me smile. My old boss in molecular biology told me, if you can make me laugh, or if you can get under my house and fix my pipes, you will always have a job. So you are moving toward the making people laugh, and it glows in your spirit. I think it's marvelous. Now you have two nieces and a nephew who I know well, who are all on the stage.
I know.
What advice do you give them?
Well, I mean, I hope that I can just put them in some of my commercials and movies if their parents will let them. But I think that I think that they're doing what they love, and it's great. I know that they had to do the Zoom performance of not Cinderella. It was what did they do this year? What was the play, Stevie? Well, anyway, I think it's just great to be able to continue.
It was the Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
I thought that was really great. I think that you just continue, doing what you love and putting yourself out there and expressing yourself. I think that, you know that you want to be in this business where you just can't really help yourself anymore. You just can't stop. People tell you that, don't you want to do this? Don't you want to do that? And it just is like bursting at the seams that you want to, go out and create and make stuff up and be imaginative. And I think that when I was growing up, I knew that I loved acting. And when I did, I knew that's what I wanted to do, but also it's not where I ended up. I thought that movie was going to be like, Owen Wilson and Bottle Rocket when he had his leader, Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting. I thought an acting career was going to come out of it, but people just responded more to the scripts and my writing. And all of a sudden, I'm still in a field that I love. I was going to be in this movie in January. I was playing a very small role in this script, that the thriller that I talked about. Of course, they're only hiring out of Atlanta. So they're going after all town Atlanta because they don't want to fly anybody in. Pandemic, they need to get this movie done. We need content right now. That's kind of a deviation of what it is, but you want to create, you never know where you end up. You might end up as an agent, in creating, you might end up as a producer, but just being a part of it. The other thing that's so great about getting an acting background is that every writer, director, and James knows this, I imagine, is that you have to go to acting class. You have to understand actors. You have to understand of the way they think and operate. And so, and even, kids today growing up, they're putting their kids in improv class just to build social skills and do all that. I think all that stuff is just, it doesn't matter. It's just, it all leads to the right type of growth as a person. So I don't know. That's
Thank you. As a person who teaches for Huntington Middle School, 3 cheers, because you just said in a lot of words, here's to visual and performing arts. They
Absolutely.
must exist. They must continue. They must be funded. Thank
Yes.
you, Judy.
Very nice. Thank you, Denise. We have more questions. Please raise your hand. Let me check page 2. Yes, I have a question. Okay, you mentioned that your film was made on film. So is it less expensive to make a film on film, or I thought digital would have been less expensive?
No, it's much more expensive, but we were able to, the director, who's also, I didn't mention, was a San Marino High School grad in the 70s, is a big director out of Dallas. He directs commercials, really successful director. He had cashed in all these favors from Kodak over the years to shoot on film, to be able to get discounts on that film. It's really expensive. There's no reason to shoot on film right now. Quentin Tarantino's shooting on film. Christopher Nolan shooting Tenet on film. It's really for those people that, and do I think that things you can't compare to film ever? When you look at something, it's digital. There is a difference. Sometimes digital, you look like it's just too real. Film is just like grainier. There's a nice look to it, right? And you feel it's just, so the point is that yes, we shot on film. It was much more expensive. We did it for a lot cheaper. But for me right now, all I'm shooting is on digital because I'm writing rom-coms. Who needs a rom-com on film?
Right. Okay. All
But
right.
good question.
Thank you. Fong, you have a question?
Maybe I'll say something quick. Jadi, I'm also in the film entertainment industry. We are actually a group of movie financier. So over the past few years, I've seen people that's not talented and made it, and people that's extremely talented that make it really big. So as to talk about Quentin Tarantino, actually, we had a premiere about 2 weeks ago for American Badass, and that is a documentary on Michael Madsen. And I've seen so many talented people that made it. Just have to hold on your dream and then really do it, including my boss. He had ups and down over the 60 years in the film industry. But right now, he's one of the very prominent figure in the industry that people respected. So maybe it takes like 20 years, 30 years, but it's all worth it.
Yeah, thank you. No, Michael Madsen is the actor, Michael Madsen, right? From Reservoir Dogs, Quentin movie. Yeah, I think he's great. And he was just a character actor really for all these years. When does that come out? Do you know? Is it out? Did that documentary?
It's not out yet. Yeah, it was a premiere. It's going to come out I think next year.
Oh, very cool. He is a badass, that's for sure. He's always played the bad guy.
Many movies are coming out in HBOs. Yeah.
Yeah, straight.
AT&T owns Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers owns HBO. So HBO Max is going to have tons of good releases.
Yeah, no, they've announced that, and they're the first ones to drop Wonder Woman, like I said, and Matrix 4, these big, blockbuster movies on HBO Max the same day as theaters. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. But again, we'll kick COVID to the side here soon and get back to see movies in theaters.
Thank you, Fong. Very inspirational. Thank you. We're going to have Russ and then go back to Denise. Russ?
Hi, Jetty. My name is Russ.
Hey.
And once upon a time, I wanted to be a writer, but it's just the work's too hard. It's just too hard. And so I'm interested in your process. I run into a gentleman who lives locally, John Hancock, who's a director and writer. And I see him all the time. And he has an office where he writes. And so he doesn't write at home. And I'm wondering about your process. I find that an interesting topic.
Yeah, I think that every writer varies. Every writer has a different time to write. I'm only really good in the morning for whatever reason. I get up early. I'm highly drugged on caffeine, and that's very important. And I do my best writing from 6:30 a.m. to 10, maybe 11. I think there's a huge diminishing marginal utility. I mean, if that's even the right word, I learned that in San Marino High School. But that return is just, I start doing damage to the script after 4 hours on it. And then there's a gap in the middle of the day where I'm just like meetings, calling producers, talking about my next project, pitching. And then at the end of the day, invariably, I always come back to it. I know Scott Frank, who lives in Pasadena, does the same thing. He did a lot of great movies like Marley and Me Too. I call Marley and Me, it's not one of his great movies. One of them is, but you know, at the end of the day, I always have like, oh my gosh, how much work did I do? I didn't do enough. And before, as the sun sets, for whatever reason, I get this, you know, urge to just kind of do another 45 minutes. And that's where really a lot of my best work comes. A process for me is a lot of writers just write a screenplay. I can't do that. I think that, I don't know, you know, I think Quentin Tarantino's, I outline the heck out of it. I do 50, 60 page outlines. You know, I break it down into, you know, backstories and, you know, first act, second act, third act, and everything that happens. And, you know, when you talk about writing things down with people say, I have binders full of things that people say that make it. And this wrangled document of just, it looks like, you know, John Nash from A Beautiful Mind put this document together. It's just a bunch of stuff that's all over the place, but that guides me. And I can always go back to that. And, you know, listen, I think I really think it's a bastardized art form. I mean, we have this document that someone else uses that we pass along, and it's not a book, it's not poetry. It's got, you know, I mean, you guys know what you know what a screenplay looks like. It's just, I mean, you know, it's just like these spaces and people talking, and, you know, it's colons. Why are they there? Why are things highlighted? Why are they not? But, you know, it's there is an art to it, and, you know, to each their own, but that's kind of my process.
Thank you.
And I don't write, and I do write from home. This is my home office. So I actually like it here.
Thank you, Russ. I have Denise, and then I'm going to go back up to you, James.
Okay, so what about formulaic? I mean, I'm not a person who can afford a bunch of TV channels, so I don't have the Hallmark channel. But when we travel over the holidays, my husband has to endure that in hotel rooms. I mean, they're feel-good movies. I mean, is this something that you would hope that somebody tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, write one and we'll do it in Austria?
Yeah, you know, that's what happened with the Thriller. You know, it was just one, thrillers just are cheap thrills. They're you know, people love them. The Hallmark stuff, the Hallmark Christmas movies, you know, I luckily, nothing against the Hallmark Christmas, romantic movies are formulaic. They just are. You know what happens. They're going to end together. You know it. It's just, how long can you make it believe that they're not going to end together? It's the most formulaic genre we have, but we still love it because we want a happy ending. We want them to end together. You know that they're going to have a breakup at the end of Act 2, and you know that they're going to somehow find their way and learn something about each other and come back. But you know, I love it. And as far as Hallmark, I'm doing the same thing for Netflix. The Christmas movie is, Netflix has a big Christmas division now. If you look at Netflix, they have all these, they look like the same as Hallmark. They're, you know, A Christmas Prince or A Night Before Christmas, KINIT, you know, it's, they're just those movies that your husband probably hates and we love, so.
Well, thrillers are important. And your number one audience actually for thrillers is teenage girls.
Yeah.
I didn't know you knew that, but wow. Scares them to death.
It's incredible. It'll be fun to see how that movie does and how it plays, just to be able to kind of get into something outside my comfort zone.
My wife has probably seen every single Hallmark movie on Netflix. James, please. You're on mute. James, if you can go off of mute.
How's that? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I want to show you something. I too still have my books.
Oh yeah.
I still have my composition books. I must have 1,000 of these.
Yeah.
Even though I'm retired, I still write down things and concepts.
I love that.
And so it's a love of words, of concepts, and you keep it going. I will be there on your red carpet for your first Oscar, okay?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, these binders, my wife wants me to throw them away. If I opened them,
no.
Anything that I hear that I think is interesting or cool that shines light on a character, I write it down and it's all in there. And I think it's good that you have it, because when I'm, you know, in 30 years, I want to look back at all these binders and see, you know, what I was up to.
Well, I used to get some of my ideas for my TV news shows from some of my earlier binders.
Right.
So don't throw them. I'm sorry. I hope your wife is not listening, but don't throw them away. Okay.
We're moving to Pasadena. We're going to get a bigger garage, bigger house for more room for my books.
That's what I did.
Thank you, James.
Good luck to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Judy? Okay, great program. Thank you so much, Bill, for bringing Judy, inviting him. I sense there's a lot of pride for a local guy like you and your success. So congratulations, Judy. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna run because I've got to take my kids to an appointment, but thank you so much for having me, everybody. It's
Okay.
great to see you guys. Great to see the familiar faces. Mr. Norgard will connect offline and have a great Christmas, and things are going to be back to normal.
Thank you, Judy. Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations on your twins, and we'll be donating a book on your behalf to the Kroll Library.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Rotarians and guests, thank you for joining us for today's meeting. We'd like to thank Bryce, Student of the Month, for joining us today, April Taylor, Zila, I think it was Zila. Thank you so much for coming today. Please don't forget, next week is Rotary on the Town. We will be dark at noon. This is our last noon meeting for the year. We will see you all on January 7th, 2021. Enjoy your holidays. Hanukkah starts tomorrow, so happy Hanukkah to some of you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. The December 10th, 2020 meeting of the Rotary Club of San Marino is adjourned. Thank you. See you next year.
Bye, everybody. Have a great
Bye.
one.
Bye. Enjoy
Bye.
holiday.
Enjoy your holidays.
Hi, everyone. Stay
Pong.
safe.
You too.
Wear your
Mom.
mask.
Take care. Yep.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Social
Thank you.
Oh, okay,
Thanks for all you
Debbie.
do.
Sorry.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next week. for
Hanukkah's
the
tonight.
Wednesday
Hanukkah's
and the
tonight.
Hanukkah's
What,
tonight.
what time is Hanukkah tonight?
At dusk.
Dusk. Okay, thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
it. Enjoy, Andrew. Enjoy the happy
Thank
Hanukkah.
you.
Happy Hanukkah.
Appreciate it. And a Merry Christmas coming up.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Fawn. Thank you.
Bye.
Great questions, James, as always.
Great program.
Happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday, James.
Thank you.
I have to take you out for coffee.
I'm 39 again, okay?
I know,
39.
I know.
39.
You look good for
Same
39.
here. Same here. Thank you.
All right.
All right.